With the release of Snezhnaya, I would like to remind y'all that Wriothesley is still bugged. Yes, he's now the meta DPS, but let me explain. His buff gives him a new additional talent that replaces his old talent. The description of both talents state the exact same thing, both in English, in Chinese if you want to check that out. When Wriothesley's HP is less than 60%, he will obtain a buff. The next charged attack will be enhanced. The only difference is the names of the abilities and buffs. But inside the game, these talents work differently. The old talent works like caps lock, so you press it once and you receive the buff, and you can do whatever you want until you hit a charged attack, then caps lock turns off. The new talent works like shift. You have to hold it down, and while your HP is less than 60%, the shift will be held down. But as soon as you go above 60%, it will just turn off. And both buttons, both versions allow you to type capital letters, but Wriothesley's whole kit was built on caps lock, and that's why everything's broken right now. The biggest problem is his C1. Before, you would hit a 5th normal attack and you would turn on caps lock. You just press it once and everything works. But now if you swap caps lock with shift, you just press shift and nothing happens. The same happens if you want to add a cooldown to the buff. Before, you would hit a charged attack, you would turn caps lock off and disable it for 5 seconds. Now, while you're under 60% HP, the button shift is held down, and no matter what you do, if your HP is below 60, it will stay down. So you can use as many charged attacks as you want, and you can add as many cooldowns as you want. The button is pressed down. What are you adding a cooldown to? It's not turned off. It never gets turned off. That's why the cooldown was moved to healing, because they couldn't figure it out. And because the talent itself works, but everything else is broken, that's the reason why it took so long to find. Let's now look at healing. Before, you could play C0 Wriothesley with Bennett, with Diona, with characters that heal slowly. Because you could go below 60% HP, you would turn caps lock on, the buff would turn on, and it would stay with you until you use the charged attack. Now, as soon as you go above 60%, it turns off and you lose the charge attack and your damage. Diona can buff Stellar Conduct, but she heals. Chi-Chi, really good at Stellar Conduct, but she heals. Alyosha buffs Stellar Conduct, but another healer. So your only free option is Beidou. Cookie does not buff Stellar Conduct, but she can trigger the stacks, but she also heals. So team building becomes really weird and complicated. So the only argument left is that Wriothesley can now do infinite charged attacks when he's at 1 HP. And I gotta be honest with you, you will never use that mechanic during actual gameplay, because as soon as you go below 50% HP, you lose your E ability. You lose all the buffs of your normal attacks. They become just regular attacks without any damage. So you cannot go below 50% HP, and you heal for 30% HP. And to get that, you lose your constellation, you lose your teammates, you lose your healers, you lose quality of life, you lose everything just to receive a mechanic that you'll never use. And the only thing the developers did was to remove the word next in the description of the new talent a week before release to make it seem like it's a feature, not a bug. And the sad part is that people fell for it. There was no backlash, there was no community uniting and asking MiHoYo to change anything, so the bug was never fixed. But it also affected a very small circle of people that have C1 Wriothesley and Pultfus Sandrone, and right now people will get free characters, they will get the ability to test Stellar Conduct, and they will see how broken it is. So I'm hoping for more backlash and that MiHoYo actually fixes it. So yeah, please share this information with anybody you know. Thank you for watching, thank you for paying attention, and let's fix Wriothesley, please.